Welcome back. I'm Wyatt Goolsby in for Lauren Ashburn. President Trump says the nation's drug problem will never be solved without getting tough on dealers.
We have pushers and we have drug dealers that they kill hundreds and hundreds of people, and most of them don't even go to jail. You know, if you shoot one person, they give you life, they give you the death penalty.
One of the president's friends described losing his son to opioids, but many Americans may not know the crisis is closely linked to human sex trafficking. Dr. Sandra Morgan, director of the Global Center for Women and Justice at Vanguard University, joins us from Costa Mesa, California. She's an advocate for victims of sex abuse and drug trafficking. So, Sandra, what is the connection between the opioid crisis and human trafficking?
Well, I think the intersection of these two crises issues is connected to what happens to children when they are drug-endangered children. My first experience as a pediatric nurse admitting a 14-year-old boy whose mother and stepfather were selling him for drugs was an eye-opening experience, and I began to study the issues so that I could understand how to stop that, how to prevent it.
It's amazing to think what happens to some of those children. A recent report says opioid overdoses cost over $95 billion per year. It's a staggering statistic. How does that impact taxpayers?
Well, I think if you start looking at that and reverse engineer, you think if we could do prevention, we could have that $95 million to improve our economy, to do prevention and make sure kids are safe. There are so many different ways, but the bottom line is prevention has to be funded.
Yeah, that does seem to be the key here. And some police officers across the country are armed with a reversal drug to help victims who overdose. But a lot of advocates would agree that's not the solution long term. You mentioned prevention. What is the long-term solution here?
I think the long-term solution, this is a great era to be alive. We are studying brain plasticity, and a recovery from addiction is possible. Our culture and our community, we have to change our attitudes. We don't look at an addict and think, oh, they made some moral bad choices, but we look at them and we think, are there children involved here? Do they need help? Is there a way to get them into a recovery program? Because your brain can learn new pathways. Your brain can become healthy again. It takes a lot of work, takes therapy, but look at the rewards. Children who make it to school on time, children who are not separated from their families, and even though they've suffered abuse, these kids still love mom and dad.
What advice do you have for individuals who have an addiction?
Get help. Call for whatever your local recovery program has for you. We know that if we help you, you'll be a better parent, you'll be a more productive part of our community, and that makes everybody healthier.
Such an important message, and important to remember that addicts can recover. Sandra Morgan, director of the Global Center for Women and Justice at Vanguard University, thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you, Wyatt. I appreciate it.